on a regular, how are you managing your own stress? First, what's stressing you?
Money making.
So, but before.
Too much.
You know, I'm not a morning person. As an event person, I could wake up at 8 o'clock before and read my Bible at 9 before I start my day at 10 o'clock. With your view, it took me 2 years. That's 5 a.m. waking up, right? So now I'm adjusting to coming to your view 3-4 times and waking up that early.
It's been 4 years. Right?
That amount of time in 4 years. Yes. Now, because of I'm still doing events. Events have picked up this year. You know, towards the end of the year, there are more events. Right. So I'm doing more events. So you're going to more meetings. Usually after your view, I'll go back home and sleep before I go to any other meeting. Now I'm going directly to meetings. I've now picked up mentoring people, how to make money. That one I'm doing presentations 3 or 4 times a week at the very least. It is rewarding financially, so you see the direct result of the hard work and labor. Right. You know, that encourages you. But guess what? Stress. This weekend, from last week, I'd been noticing it. My body wasn't getting up, you know, quickly by itself. Right. Jumoke, I'm not going today. I'll say, come now. There's money to be made. No, I'm not going today until I broke down. Because I rested over the weekend, I just had sore throat, catarrh, you know, the usual feverish conditions. Because the human body is, you can't leave the body to, I will rest in December. Right. You must rest on a daily basis.
Okay, let me hear. Are you going through any kind of stress or what stress? What's your stress?
Everybody goes through stress. It's normal, especially because of Nigeria, the way we live in Nigeria now. There's no how you wouldn't go without stress.
Food prices are
I'm into manufacturing, and it's crazy. You know, this day you go to the market to buy this, it's at a reasonable price. Tomorrow you get that the price is up. Jesus. Do you not up your prices too? Everybody is used to buying what I sell. For instance, I sell snacks at 50 naira. Everybody's used to buying at 50 naira. If I'm getting products, if I'm getting raw materials that exceeds that price, what do I do? And then I just get home at night and I break down. I'm thinking, God, what do I do? But then I say to myself again, just get up. You know, like she said earlier on, she said to herself, I need to rest. That's the same way I try to speak to myself positively. Look, you need to stand up. You need to think. You need to do something else. You need to think of what you can do.
Yeah, you're right. But as a mother, as a wife, there's just so much demand. Even from me right now, like I didn't sleep at night because my daughter was throwing up all night. My help went to go and give them a bar and okra soup at night. Now usually we make dinner, everybody eats, and I usually just go upstairs from 7 p.m. I'm upstairs hanging out. But for some reason they didn't eat. Usually they eat by 7 p.m. But I don't know what happened yesterday. She gave them a bar at 8:30. Jesus. With okra soup. Wow. Now I called them upstairs 8 p.m. 9 p.m. to sleep. I didn't even realize it just finished eating. So I think all night everybody, I couldn't sleep. But then I had to be here again 7:30 in the morning. And it's so stressful. I'm tired. I mean, so as a woman, there's stress. But you see, that's why we also need that support group. People need people to talk to. And we must be open to find out how your friend is doing. Talk about.
My major stress in the past few months has been money. And oh my goodness, you just be sick. Like you don't understand what's going on. I was just lethargic. I was just rolling around. I'm like, my mom will be like, what's going on? What's going on? And I say, it's money, Abby. You're thinking about money. Because like every day it is one bill or the other. Okay, so light is not, there's no light in the studio and we're going to open. Okay, so let's buy wire. They say, why is 25,000? I say, 25,000 naira for wire. As in every day there is one bill after the other, one bill. And I realize that when you come across Nigerians, there's this aggression that people tend to have. And that's because they are frustrated. So it's more like, if you give me 1, I'm willing to give you 5. I just want to let go of that pent-up stress within me. So when they say 7 million, I even think that much more than that number, if they do proper statistics, are being stressed regularly.
Like to
but here is how I distress. So like last year, I asked my mom, I got old music, like this old school 80s music that I grew up listening to at home. And I said, Daddy, I heard that they've rebranded this gospel music into CDs. Can you help me get them? So I have like about 4 or 5 of them. And yesterday, as I was going on, I just put it in and I was dancing. I'm sure everyone looking at me don't understand that my brain is calculating, but I was just like dancing, singing, dancing. And for me, you need to find something that would help you release. And then tell yourself, I need to survive to live another day. Joy would come if I can just be alive.
Nima, what's stressing you? Let's get some calls. Let us know what's stressing you out and how you're managing that stress. But then we come to Nima.
Like Tokwe said, bills.
Ileya. Oh my God.
No, even before Ileya, you have dependents, family members, everybody waiting on you. That's stressful when you go home and you see things and you know you need cash to change things. But another major stressor for me, as much as I hate to admit it, is breastfeeding.
Oh wow.
I keep saying to my husband, this boy just won't let the breast be. And he's sick, he won't take any other meal. No, he's not taking anything. So 24 hours, once I'm at home, while on the breast milk, and I have to do so many other things that everybody is expecting. Don't worry, when I get back, all those things would have been done. Of course, I'm sitting down breastfeeding somebody, and he's a champ. The guy is really doing the work. You come back and you need food. I'm tired.
Let me take Ronke. Ronke from Bagada, are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Tell us, morning. Share what's stressing you out, Ronke?
Oh, a lot.
Go ahead.
A lot as a Nigerian. And I think depression should not be treated as a kid's glove. It's a serious problem in Nigeria. In fact, I could say almost everybody is depressed. We need to create structures, maybe in our general hospitals, that psychiatrists will be readily available instead of waiting to be referred to a psychiatric home. It's a very rampant condition in Nigeria because every now and then people, sometime back, the suicide rate was high.
Thank you very much, Rocky. You're very correct because I was sharing in the makeup room that, I mean, husbands still need to be receptive to this thing because a lot of people just take a lot of things for granted. Even yesterday, I mean, I was really tired. I got home. I went to go to the supermarket to buy stuff. I came back at past 6 and my husband was like, I'm waiting for you to come. Let's go and buy fuel together. I'm wondering, I really just want to get in and just relax. I really don't need this.
That sounds so romantic.
No, it's not romantic.
That was exactly what
There's nothing romantic about it. Because I'm like, you could have just gone to the car. Oh, please, I'm tired, I'm stressed out.
Go and sleep in the car. Is it you who is going to drive?
I think I'll find that energy.
I would. Romantic.
I would find the energy. Why?
I have me time. If I could just have some me time.
Serious stress
in my relationship, maybe the stress will reduce.
Time to just
do you know that driving around is a distressor?
Not in Nigeria.
Yes.
Not with the traffic, not with the bad road, not with oink.
I'm very sure there's a gas station very close to your house, not so far away.
Yes.
And
no, me, I will say
20 minutes of
back.
Me and my husband time.
I do not even agree. We go to the one in Ibadan.
Thank you very much.
I'm not the one driving.
And then we will talk.
So we will talk without the children or the
Don't you like to talk?
That's not our own love language. People don't get it.
Exactly, I think so.
All the things that have been stressing you, that you have been carrying in your head. Now they say, sit down as passenger.
Okay.
I just be saying all of
I think I like what you just said, the love language. Understand your spouse's love language.
Exactly.
Me, I don't like to talk. I like you just help me out in the kitchen or something.
And what about you being submissive to your husband's love language?
But let's not distract.
Take the one you can find.
Adewale, are you there? Bolanle, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Amen.
Owó ti Nàìjíríà ó jọ sí gbogbo lẹ́yìn ò ṣe gidi ẹ ṣé o, God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Another general stressor is when you hear how much money Abacha, the Zani, stole. And your salary is just 15,000 naira. After paying your tithe of 1,005, and they remove VAT of about another maybe 750 naira. What is left to you? Cannot buy a bag of rice.
It's stressful.
Another major stress a lot of men are going through: house rent and school fees.
You
know, so it's about 2 weeks' time.
So you have to.
Yes.
The husband is already going grey because there's burial there.
You know, and so I think as we expect our women to understand. We expect our husbands to understand the stress we face at home. Okay, we also understand the stress they go through.
They also go through stress.
We have to go through it. We have to go to a break right now. But the truth is that we discussed this just to express our stressors and find a way to manage this stress. Hopefully next week we can get somebody to help us understand how to better manage it. But let's take a break. When we come back, we'll discuss None Shall Die initiative. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Almost every day we hear stories of road accidents that cost the lives of Nigerians and inflict temporary or permanent injuries on some others. According to the figures by the Federal Road Safety Commission, FRSC, over 10,000 people die every year on road accidents. But there is good news coming your way. The Health Emergency Initiative, in conjunction with the Federal Road Safety Commission and public hospitals in Lagos, have come up with None Shall Die initiative to save lives of auto accident victims. Joining us on the show is a Deputy Route Commander, Acting Sector Public Education Officer, FRSC Lagos Sector Command, Olabisi Shonusi, and also here is a Coordinator Health Emergency Initiative, Kanayo Okonkwo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So tell us about this None Shall Die initiative. Who'd like to go first? Let me go into that kind of.
Okay, let me start with what HI is before we. This is just a project out of the numerous initiatives by HEI. Now, HEI was formed to attend to the indigents, people that are unable to pay their hospital bills,
Right.
and sometimes people who could not even pay the initial deposit for blood transfusion or blood cross-matching. Then those patients, we take care of their bill, and we either pay their bill or we buy them items that they require in the hospital. So they don't pay back.
Where do you get your money from?
Yes, HI is contributions from members of the group and members of the public who have passion to care for the indigents.
Okay.
This money is collected, maybe 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. We bring it together, and then we go to those hospitals within Lagos and outside Lagos, identify the people who are in need, certify truly that are in need, and we take care of their issues.
Okay. When I read about the initiative, I felt that there's a pause in every hospital along major roads. That's what I felt. Is that how it works? Is there a pause so that once the patient is brought in, you don't have to be present, they will treat, at least begin treatment
emergency first,
and within a certain limit. So is there a limit, and is there such a pause?
Absolutely. Let me talk about the None Shall Die initiative, which we are taking up with the Federal Road Safety Commission. It is a project we want to undertake for the next 90 days, beginning from September. What we want to do is to ensure that any accident victim within Lagos is treated. You don't need to make a deposit first.
Okay.
Stabilize the patient, and then later, the patient can take care of the rest of the bills. We've placed it at 20,000 naira. The moment the patient is brought in by Federal Road Safety Commission or Last and Boss, those we have signed a MOU with, the hospital will treat those people free for that first stabilization process, not maximum of 20,000. When the patient has regained consciousness and the families have been contacted, yes, they can continue with the rest of the treatment.
Okay.
But first is to save life. Okay. That is why we termed it None Shall Die.
Let me let the FRC representative here come into. Why are you involved in this, and exactly what value do you think you can bring to this initiative?
Well, why FRSC, Federal Road Safety Corps, Lagos Sector Command, signed an MOU with Health Emergency Initiative for an indigent patient was because, one, before now, we've seen that victims are rejected either because nobody will pay the bills or stuff like that. And also, it's a shortfall from the post-crash care of UN Decade of Action between 2011 and 2020 that FRSC wants to achieve. Because when we say 2020, we all believe 2020 is just some years away from now, but within a couple of years, we'll be in 2020. And you still find out that some hospitals still reject crash victims just because they feel nobody will pay. So when this initiative came, when we got that letter from them, we examined it and we felt FRSC, one of the FRSC core mandates is to achieve 25% reduction in fatality. So if we could see someone who could cushion the effect of people being rejected, one, and victims can be attended to fast, why not sign an MOU with them? And that was why the sector commander, on behalf of this legal sector command, felt this is a worthy initiative, and it's also part of the members who are contributing to the pool of funds.
Oh, very nice.
So I'm happy you see there's a time frame. This is like it's like a test run for you to know how, because I wanted to ask how sustainable and how do you plan to fund it within this period. Also, you mentioned last ambos, that's the emergency, and so it's only people that come from these two that will get treated. If somebody has an accident and I probably rescue the person and take them to the hospital, they still probably won't get treated.
Well, let me answer the first one. How sustainability of this project. The first 90 days that we're going to start off is a pilot scheme.
Okay.
And what we want Nigerians to buy into this project, because it is our project. Anybody could be a victim of accidents.
Yes.
When you may be a rich man, you could even be a millionaire, but at the time that you had an accident, you're unconscious. So at that point, you're actually indigent and you're vulnerable. So what HI had designed was to ensure that your life is saved primarily. And we believe that Nigerians will buy into this project. The contributions are coming from Nigerians who are passionate about caring for the people. So there's no other special funding for this project. Just Nigerians are contributing 1,500 naira. We can get it and then treat people, make sure that they survive for the first phase. Then sustainability means that if Nigerians, and we believe Nigeria are going to buy into this project, it will be sustained through Nigerian contributions from the public. And then if you are brought in by any other source apart from Federal Road Safety and Lassombos, there is a process to take care of that. But the people we actually sign MOU with are the Federal Road Safety Commission, and we're also about doing that with Lassombos. So those we are certified, we are sure. But that does not mean that we're going to reject anyone who falls accident victim within that period.
Okay, so I assumed, and I'm sure that I've read it somewhere, that Lagos State and the Federal Ministry of Health have made it mandatory that any hospital will first accept any victim. You remember they were saying don't ask for doctor's reports, police report for somebody who was shot. First save the life. So I thought this was already law. You know, I hear from you that there's still hospitals rejecting. Their own is even because of bill, not police report. But you see, we cannot crowd fund our health system, because we're already doing it. Your friend has kidney problem. All of you come together, or you're sending him to India. Where's the place of the government? Because the reason citizens pay tax is so that there's such a pool. The reason we have health insurance is so that there's such a pool. But when all of us now start to bring up initiatives like this, it is fantastic, because we are all government anyways, and we must do our part. But then again,
how are you getting the government to do their own part?
One. Secondly, how do I even trust? If you now start to have $100 billion in your account because Nigerians want this initiative, corruption is rife all over Nigeria. How are we able to trust that there won't be corruption even in your initiative?
Okay. First, let me say that HEI is properly registered with the CAC and have a corporate governance in place.
Okay.
The last audited account of HEI is there for public view. If we go to any hospital, we have statistics of anybody that has been intervened on behalf of HEI. It's recorded and is available for public view. We want to ensure that this is a very unique kind of setting. It is very transparent.
Okay.
You are free to make inquiry. If you contributed 1,000 naira, you can be sure that you can trace what that 1,000 naira was used for.
Okay.
The records are there. From the inception to today, all the interventions done, the hospital, the amount spent, and who benefited are all recorded.
Okay.
But so, Jubaka raised something.
You talked about the government. The government, what is the role of government?
Yes.
Let's be clear about this. The government is doing a lot.
Okay.
I can tell you that Lagos State government has done a lot with public hospitals.
Okay.
If you visit there, you will know that they have done a lot.
I agree.
But there are still gaps. We understand. There are a lot of... The healthcare system is enormous. There are a lot of requirements there. The resources are many. Why can't we try in our own way to alleviate this? Okay. Especially for the... I'm not saying that patients are rejected all the time. No. You find out that if you have an MOU with a certain hospital. You give them the comfort.
True.
Patient comes in, they know that the money will eventually be paid. So
but the fact that you're only paying 20,000 naira, is that enough comfort? Because there's still a possibility that the patient might not even end up paying.
His bill might be 2 million.
Let's put it this way. Your bill could be 2 million.
Yes.
But 20,000 naira could save your life to get the 2 million.
Right.
If you are not saved with 20,000, how? And you could be a millionaire that had that money. You could have been dead before the 2 million. So that is exactly what it is.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take some phone calls and tweets on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So Tokwe had a question.
So I use General Hospital, and I realized that one of the main issues is that they don't have basic facility. I'm talking gloves. I'm talking syringe. So it's not even about you having the money. What they'll tell you, and which I experienced a few weeks ago when I went there, was that go and buy the medicine, go and buy the syringe, go and buy the gloves. To the point that when they gave us the list and we finished buying everything, we came back and realized that we didn't have cotton wool. And they didn't have cotton wool too. So they had to borrow cotton wool from another patient to attend to. So it's the 20,000, it's beyond the money. How are you meeting the basic facility need there, to the point that when somebody is brought in on emergency, it won't be that, no syringe, who will help you go and buy syringe?
You see what I'm saying? That's the role of the government. Now, with private initiative, you're asking them government questions.
That's not even the role of government. I saw two MDs in the hospital when I was in the hospital. The first MD, I never heard someone borrowing gloves. But the moment he was taken to another hospital, within the first month of the other MD's administration, we're borrowing gloves. So it's about the person.
Leadership.
This is beyond. It's about leadership. It's beyond government.
Okay, let me
well, my experience so far in most of the public hospitals that I've visited in Lagos is there has been a tremendous improvement. And remember, we have a focus. Our focus is in emergency and indigent. Now, if it falls within that capacity, we deal with it. And for the government side of it, I think they're doing well, and we need to commend them for
Let me take this call from Stanley, and I'll come to the FRC. Stanley, are you there?
Yeah, good morning,
Morning.
everyone.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
I just wanted to lay a complaint concerning Ikorodu General Hospital.
Okay.
I lost my dad like 2 years ago in that hospital. I remember that when I was running about doing all the old tests, I have to go outside the Ikorodu General Hospital to do the test, because there was no test machine that was working. And also, when I lost my dad that day, could you believe that one of the staff was telling me that, please, what are you going to give us? I was surprised. I was not like, is it that bad? Because the whole staff there was just behaving anyhow. I was wondering, is that how people being treated in hospitals? When it comes to government properties, I don't know, people just take it anyhow, as if it's their own property.
Right.
They
Thank you very much.
Sorry about your loss.
Sorry about your loss, Stanley. Let me come to Olabisi Shonibisi. But without this initiative, I need to understand the role of FRSC in this kind of emergency accident, because this is just one out of so many. It's a whole country, and he said a lot about Lagos, within the Lagos environs, but the FRSC is federal. Now, so what are you doing in this kind of situation where there's an emergency? What role does FRSC play to ensure that no lives indeed are lost and people get help as well in hospitals?
For FRSC, our basic responsibility is to first ensure that those crash victims are taken to the hospital. And we kept stressing that before now. Most hospitals do reject. We've seen situations where we take these crash victims to hospitals and you keep rolling around and around like that before one of the hospital gets to pick up the victims from us. So what on the part of FRSC we've been doing recently is to ensure that we keep meeting up with this health sector to make them understand that one thing first is, once we pick up these victims, we need to first ensure that we save their lives first. So that once we assure the victim is okay. Just as I said, you don't know who we are brought in. It could be a millionaire. It could be somebody who could easily pay his bills. But if you reject such person and he dies, of what value does that give to? So we kept, on our own part, what we've always done is meet up with these people at the
You have meetings with them
to always ensure that once we bring them in, they respond and they take them in.
Let me take Wanchuku. Wanchuku, are you there?
Yeah, I'm
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I want to applaud the initiative from the HEI body and from FRS people. But I want to just make a little bit of contribution. First and foremost, most accidents in saving lives, when you say none shall die, it all depends on the golden time. That golden time has to do with when the accident occurred and before and how long it takes to get to the hospital. That's where most mortalities actually occur.
Very true.
To rescue them from the scene and getting them to the hospital. When you get to the hospital, the issue of doctors rejecting because the deposit is not commensurate or it's not that, it's another issue on its own entirely.
Yes.
Now,
true.
when you come to the maximum, I heard him say 20,000 was the maximum. To be sincere and truthful, 20,000 is it's actually too small for most gas accidents when you're trying to stabilize them. You know, so if that amount can be taken up a little bit, that would be okay. And if they can make initiatives to have, if it's roadside ambulances or paramedics to deal with situations on the road while en route to hospitals, that will also help.
Thank you very much, Wachuku.
A Nigerian question is, what is in this for you? HEI. Why did you take up this role? They say that nobody does anything without looking for monetary rewards.
Well, this is different. This is a group of passionate Nigerians who wants to assist the indigent people and to save lives who falls into victims of accidents. There is no special reward anybody is expecting. If you want to be part of HI, please do not expect any reward. If you want to be a user Nigerian project, please no. We are not expecting any reward from anybody.
Okay, there's a question on Twitter that I would like to take. Michael Okade says, how do you mitigate the high chances of corruption of funds donated by women in your team?
He answered that already.
He talked about SEC, but we're talking about curbing, at least mitigating it within your personnel, people working with you.
Yes, within our personnel, like I did say, we have external auditors, we have internal auditors, and approvals are done through stages, initiated from one level, approved by another level by the EXCOs, and this is done transparently based on the requests and approvals are given. There is no way there's no room for anybody corruption in our group.
I don't want FRSC to leave without telling us, aside from, yes, accidents happen, but there are things FRSC is supposed to do, to put in place to ensure that we reduce, because to get to your 25%, lights, the street lights at night, what's the other one? Speed limits.
Yes.
Those things that you ensure that people are well informed.
Prevention.
What are you doing to prevent or to reduce these fatalities?
Okay, when you said about street lights, it's not FRS.
I know, but I'm just saying you can also ensure.
But what we do in that regard is do where we feel after conducting a road audit and we feel that infrastructure needs to be installed or placed there, we do that and forward to the necessary authority to make sure such things. And when you say, what is FRSC doing? Just before we came on, I said, accident crashes occurs every day. So we don't really wait until December month before we start doing our public enlightenment and sensitization. And of course, we go to various places of worship. We go to churches, mosques, and we go to parks. And we go to so many places, schools. We even have Catch Them Young. Catch Them Young now is making sure we have ambassadors amongst children.
We have to run
up. These are just things that we have put in place to ensure that we have low level of crashes.
You have to rush out. I want to take one tweet, okay?
Ken Orimade says, there's no hope in our health sector since the man representing change left the country to be abroad. I like the initiative. I'd like to quickly take Atinuke, who says, it's easier said than done. Emergency situations, they will delay if money isn't available. The last one, Daramola says, the main thing about this is good project is integrity, service delivery, transparency, and reliability. Very key.
Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Wish you the best in in your initiative. All right, we have some good news for our Your View viewers. The repeat of the show has now been moved. It's now going to be 8 p.m. from Monday, 8 to 9. And it's going to be called Your View Prime Time. It's no more Your View repeat. It's going to be Your View Prime Time, 8 to 9 p.m. So tell your family and friends, you don't have to wake up to midnight again from Monday. It's now from 8 to 9. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.